Hi, everyone. Whoop. Ripped the plastic off my picture. How is everyone today? As you can see, we have two special guests. We have the creative Chris and Miss Rose Prophet. Now, before we start, let's say hello to, hi, Chris. Robbie. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Maya. Hi, Teresa. How is everyone today?
Before we get going, the live is actually working this time.
Yes. First
Just
go.
saying.
Look,
Just
no idea what happened last week.
I got it on my phone. I'm following chat on there.
I have no idea what happened last week, but yep, it happened. It was something to laugh about, that was for sure.
We'll be laughing about that one for a while.
Oh, you're not wrong.
There we go. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, Robbie,
We'll,
Teresa.
we'll wait a few minutes and see if any more people come in.
Hello, Robert. Hello. Is it Maya?
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Maya.
Okay, Maya and Teresa. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And we got Kim. Hi.
Oh, hi, Kim.
So I'm going to be doing some diamond paint.
Me too. I'm just waiting for. I've just eaten, so I'm just waiting for that to settle down a little bit.
I
You
am
what?
actually going.
Eaten.
Oh.
Yes. Rose, congratulations. What a proud moment for you as a mummy.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. We're very, very proud.
George.
He did so amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
I saw a little video. There was no sound, but I saw a little video of her getting all emotional when her son walked across the stage for his graduation.
Yeah.
So very, very proud of him as
Yes.
as an honorary member of your family. Of course, I'm very proud of him as well through you.
Yes.
And, I know that he's worked very hard for that. So congratulations to you
Thank you.
for being a very successful mummy.
Yes.
Well, I figure I did. I might stuff up a lot of things in my life, but my two kids aren't one of them. So
That's right. That's right. Be proud of who they are, because that's a direct reflection on you.
He's 23. He's worked 20 years to achieve this goal. So
I think we lost Shelley.
we did.
Yeah, she thought a phone call might come in, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yes,
You're
when I saw that
when
video,
she comes back, I'm assuming.
as an honorary auntie, I had leaking eyes watching him, walk up in there with his cap and gown. And
Well, you had more of a reaction than his biological aunties who didn't give a rat's ass. So
Well, I was sitting here and those darn onions, tell you, they're very, very strong from in the kitchen. I was sitting on my couch right over there, and the strength of the onions from the kitchen, they were getting in my eyes.
you know what? I never even cut my onions, but they caused a lot of water in my eyes.
Yeah.
I was just outright bawling. So
I know. I saw that.
I knew exactly which one he was stepping up on that stage, because all you could see was Rose.
yeah, we were so excited. I spoke to him yesterday morning, and while I was out at work, and I spoke to him just before he went into Te Papa, which is where they held the whole ceremony and stuff. And just seeing him for the first time in that cap and gown, and I was working, and so I was leaking tears as I was trying to get this last delivery done so that I could be at home in time to actually watch him in comfort, not be out in public bawling my eyes out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So,
welcome back,
welcome back. He is the first member of my family in his generation to achieve a degree
Good.
Actually, he's and probably in the family actually, because mine's an art diploma. His is an animation degree, so he's one upped his mum, which is great.
Mhm.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when Caleb completed his carpentry, he missed out on the cap and gown and that.
I did too. I didn't get
He
cap and gown either.
graduated during he graduated during COVID in all those lockdowns. So he missed out
I
on
never
that.
got an invitation to mine, and mine got sent in the mail. They just didn't bother sending one. I
Wow.
got it just before I left to come over here, and it was in the middle of COVID, to be fair. But I didn't even get the
Yeah.
invitation to go to the ceremony that they held for everybody. And
Well, they didn't do one for Caleb's because it was too many lockdowns.
But I have my
No.
certificate. It's in a frame somewhere.
You can be
You
proud
wanna
of
know
it.
You want to know how Caleb found out he'd finally graduated?
How?
They sent him a digital copy of his graduation.
Oh,
Oh no, I gotta.
He didn't even know he had graduated until he received it.
It's a little bit yucky. It needs a little bit of a clean up. But yes, no, I'm officially.
yay.
There you are.
Yeah.
So that's a degree in arts and design. So when anyone says I'm not an artist, I can sit there and pull that out and go, you know. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
I'm an artist and I got paperwork to prove it.
yes.
Actually, there's one of my pieces of art.
Ooh, on a cup.
And there's another one.
I don't have any down here. Oh, you know, I have a stubby.
I also for my family
A Mackenzie cup.
calendars.
Oh, that
The
looks
calendar.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's Rose's art on a notebook.
And I'm actually working on this one.
I'm not even working on one of them.
I'm working on that one. It's coming together really nice. I start from the top, so I'm down to about right just below the head, right there.
Okay, so Chris is working on a Rose Prophet. I'm actually working on one of mine.
Yeah.
I'm working on my Ticket to Ride one, so that's not a Rose Prophet.
Mm-hmm. But I will get my moderator to put links to everyone's channels.
Okay.
Also, I'll get you to put a link to Rose's website and her Etsy, please.
Yes,
she'll
I
go
can do
check it
that.
out.
I have that here. So just give me 2 seconds to figure this out. Okay, there we go.
Yes, Rose is slowly getting all the new art.
It's a big job. We will open officially not this week but next week, and it's been a massive undertaking to get everything, and we still won't have, there'll be some stuff that will have to come down until I can get all the new prices on it, but there was
So
a lot
there's
of art
Shelley's
there.
panel.
Yeah.
And I'll go out and I'll get, hang on, oops.
Oh, thank you, Chris and Libby.
That's your
You're
panel.
welcome.
Let me get Rose's here for you. Oh, too far.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm not used to all of this, so just bear with me.
He's doing good.
Yes.
Like this will give you practice for when you're moderating on mine.
And it's giving him practice for the one in March, the Who's Who that Shelley and I are doing.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I'll be doing one of mine for that event. My husband
Yes.
told me if I don't, I'm in trouble.
That's Rose's channel. And
That's something, everyone, go check out the Who's Who Facebook page as well. Shelley and I will be doing an event on ours. So you should go check that one out too. It's
My
going to be
favorite
fun.
bird. My favorite bird.
My second favorite bird. My first one's always the phoenix.
But yeah, see, there's a lot coming up.
A lot of stuff, yes, from March.
I unfortunately have not done much on my one race painting, unfortunately, but I will be doing a lot more.
Well, my one is the I'm multitasking. Like I've got 2 events going with the one canvas. I've got this event and I've got Ticket to Ride. So
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost my mojo for diamond painting this month. There's a lot going on. Slowly
Excuse
trying
me.
to get it back.
sometimes you've got to fake it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Sometimes
Put the wrong button there.
I will admit, I did not run this event the way I should have. My apologies to everyone that has participated. There's no excuse. I just did not do what I should have. But
you've changed it.
next year will be different. I will really put the effort into it.
There's your links. If you want me to put them up again later, I can do it. But I just gotta.
Thank you, Chris.
thank you.
So if anybody wants to go and join Rose's, if you're not subscribed to Rose's channel, you can go and do that after the live. Don't leave the live and go do it. But you can go and subscribe to Rose. She goes live every Tuesday in North America, Wednesday morning in Australia. And you can join her for some fun there. Shelley, which way am I?
She's random.
Yeah,
Which way is Shelley? I don't know.
Shelley's the fun
Her
one.
link is there. You can go join her YouTube channel. She's going to be like they said, she's going to run a Who's Who event in March, but she's going to be going live next week
Yes.
Right.
to launch that. So we want to see you all coming back there too. I've got a couple of really nice diamond paintings to do for that one. And Shelley and Libby and Rose are very good friends of mine, so I don't mind endorsing these people. And if you're in the live and you're just sitting back and watching and you haven't already subscribed to my friend over here, Libby, you do that too. And well, mine's there. You can subscribe if you'd like, but no obligation whatsoever. But I mean, heck, we'd like to spread some love around here.
Yes,
Why not?
I will be on Shelley's channel next weekend, same time. Next weekend.
We're just we're next Friday. We're just going to introduce ourselves. Talk a little bit about the Who's Who 2024 event that we're doing on OWLS, and answer any questions. This is going to be something quick and short. If you want to know more information or more thorough information, go to the Facebook page under Who's Who 2024.
Yeah.
I'm not expected to be in the live. It's not
No,
next week. Oh no, that's right.
No, we're just
In March.
I already
just
forgot
giving-
today.
letting people know about the event, answering any questions, and then 2 weeks before the event, we'll give a reminder video, live video, and then we're gonna start.
Yep.
But right now, we're
Yes.
all in the midst of a one race event.
Right.
So
That's right.
We get to ask
Now
Chris a whole bunch of
I
questions.
don't know
because
if
we are all one race, we're all humans here, aren't we?
Right.
Unless there's a few machines going through over here.
I don't know if many people remember that I said that 4 of my 5 children are Aboriginal.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Now, unfortunately, my brain for remembering facts is terrible, but I do have the facts written here.
It's good.
There's one thing there's one thing I will say: the Aboriginal language. Now, a lot of people thought it was only a handful. No. right up until about 1788, there was over 250 Aboriginal languages.
Wow.
It makes sense because when you think about it, New Zealand, Australia is a really huge country. Like it is freaking huge.
It's
And-
quite right.
The tribes would have been very well spread out.
Yes.
So they wouldn't have known. There would be similarities, but they will all it'd be like we have our own dialects. They have their own. Like how Australia speaks and how Kiwis speak are really two freaking different things.
Right.
But yet we speak the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like most of them can understand the others, but it doesn't get spoken all that much anymore. Probably because, unfortunately, white man came along and things changed for Australia. There's still a lot in Northern Territory. There's still a lot of tribes that live off the land and everything.
Yeah.
The only time you usually see them is when they come in to get things that because they actually wear actual clothes now. You've still got some that wear the old way. But if you really want to get to know about the Aboriginals, I would recommend people watch a movie called Rabbit Proof Fence.
Oh, that's tissues.
Yes. Yeah, I will recommend a box of tissues because you will leak from the eyes. It's an amazing movie, and it was based on particular sisters. It's a really good one to watch.
It's a tearjerker.
Oh yeah. What I will show people though, now my youngest is 12 in April. Now she did this painting for me. It's called The Upside Down World. And that's because the Aboriginal flag is actually upside down on the hand.
Oh,
I actually thought she'd done it by accident, but no, I got informed she did it on purpose because it's called The Upside Down World.
Oh.
Her school teaches them a lot about the Aboriginal history.
Good.
and they should. They should be aware of that. I mean, it's still existing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's important to teach history. Cruel as it is sometimes, it's important to teach it.
A lot of our kids, like I remember when I was young and my eldest was young, you're learning history at school and it's all about the Egyptian
White man.
history,
European
American
history.
King Henry VIII I was so tired of hearing about King Henry VIII. And I remember telling my history teacher, what good's this going to do to me except to teach me how not to get beheaded by my husband? And he just looked at me and he went, what did you just say? I said, well, all it's really teaching me is how not to get my head chopped off by my husband. I said, because it's not going to help me in daily life. I said, so I don't know what good King Henry VIII is going to be for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then it was onto Cleopatra. And Cleopatra lasted for about 2 weeks when we went straight back to
White
King
men.
Henry VIII.
See, I did a whole term on Egyptian
Mhm.
when I first started high school or college. You guys want to call it? We call it both. Yeah, we did a whole, and that we learned about the slavery. We learned about how the pyramids were, like it was very in depth, and I think that's where my passion for Egypt kind of began.
Right.
I remember when my one of my sisters was young, she had to do an assignment on Australian history. And she had to do it on explorers. And she said to me, she goes, I don't know nothing about it. So I actually went and researched everything for her. And I got to know so much about Burke and Wills. Now, don't ask me anything about them because I can't remember anything except for the fact I think it was they were in Western Australia and they came across the Dutch, because the Dutch were actually the first to step foot on Australian soil, but they worked alongside the Aboriginals. Whereas when Captain James Cook stepped foot here, they decided to take over.
I need
Very
that new
similar.
as well.
Sorry.
Very similar here. So they'll teach here history, but it's more around like Columbus, who came here. They say Columbus came here first. Columbus actually didn't come here first because about, I'm not sure how many years, but it's been well over 1,000 years since the Vikings were here. The Vikings actually had a settlement on this island that I live, and they called it Vinland. So there's a place on the northern tip of the island, and there was some archaeology work there, and they discovered the houses that they built, the sod houses. They had a whole community there, and they've actually rebuilt it. They've reconstructed it, and it's a National Historic Site, or
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
a historic site now, and they do tours and stuff. And you've got to walk from the interpretation center out to the settlement, and they have actors and stuff. And I've been there. It's really, really cool. And yeah, it's like the first, other than our native, which unfortunately the native of Newfoundland is an extinct culture now. So the Vikings came, they didn't bother them. They did their own thing, and they did what they needed to do, and they left. And then Columbus came, and James Cook came, and all of the other ones came. And the Europeans brought what our natives called the white man disease, and that's what killed a lot of our natives here. But they were captured, a lot of them, and brought into the homes of the white people. The last one died in the 1800s. The last known one died in the 1800s. There's probably still some bloodlines, but none that are prominent. I have actually some native Canadian bloodline.
Oh.
So not the native Newfoundland bloodline, but native Canadian bloodline. On my mom's side of the family, it runs through us from Labrador. My province is situated 2 different ways, so it's the island and the mainland part. So my grandmother's grandfather, however many, 5 generations ago, he was born in Quebec to Innu parents. So they are native to Labrador. very like they live up. They at that time they lived off the land. They hunted, they fished, and they gathered berries, and they caribou, and they made clothes out of the skins. They used whale blubber for it's
Yep.
it was the way of life. Now, growing up, of course, I'm very white. Very white, in case you can't tell. But growing up, that wasn't always like the main thing in your life. Like your native heritage was not always the biggest deal. And it was actually suppressed in a lot of people because it wasn't something to be proud of, because there was a lot of prejudice and there was a lot of looking down on native peoples.
Mhm.
Shouldn't be, but it was for a long time very suppressed in today's society, and probably still is in some places, but not so much here now. I mean, we are who we are, and that's it, right? So,
Yeah.
so that's mom's side of the family. Dad's side, of course, I'm German and a bit of Viking in there too. So, gotta be proud of all of it.
It's like here, Aboriginal, like people used to hide the fact if they had Aboriginal blood
Mhm.
because they didn't want to be discriminated against, or things like that. And the first thing I did with my kids was I said to them, as you grow up, I want you to be proud of your heritage. Be
And
proud
so
of who
there should
you are.
be.
I said, because it doesn't matter, what color anyone's skin is or what their backgrounds are or anything. You be proud of it, because that's what makes you you.
And growing up, we were always encouraged to accept people as people,
Mm-hmm.
not for the color of their skin or where they came from or what language they spoke or what food they ate or anything like that. We were encouraged to accept people for people. And one of my dad's best friends actually was from India. I grew up with Indian family next door.
Yep.
First solid foods were curries. It's like it was culturally very diverse in my little world that I grew up with. So yeah, and I think it made me a better person because I can accept people for people.
Right.
90% of my friends were always
Yeah.
multicultural. I think I only ever had maybe one or two, actual Australian friends, like Australian friends, growing up, because my friends were everything. Because
Yeah.
if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you, and because I really didn't care. And I remember there was one, like when I was in about first or second grade, there was one little girl. Unfortunately, her name was Fata. She was Turkish. So you can imagine when her name got called out, people used to giggle. Her big brother, who was in a grade higher, his name was Fat.
Mm.
These two used to always get ridiculed and that because of their name, and then people didn't want to go near them because, they're Turkish. Do we go near them? Well, the first thing I did was walked up to her and said, "Hello, my name's Libby. What's your name?"
Yeah.
And she was so shy, and she went, "My name's Carter." I said, "Oh, that's a nice name." And it sort of like put a smile on her face because I just, I didn't care.
Yeah. That's like with me. I mean, when I worked where I used to work, I still work for the same company, but I just don't work in that same office anymore. There was a diverse staff, let's say, and I mean, some of my best friends there were from other countries. One of my good friends at work is originally from Bangladesh,
Mhm.
and we've had so many laughs. I still keep in touch, of course, because I still work for the same company, so we still chat and stuff. But she's amazing. I absolutely adore her. She's so cute and so sweet, and she really we just got along really well.
Yeah.
And there's people there from India. We had quite a lot of people who used to work with us from China moved to different parts of the country now. And I mean, we have white people and brown people, and black people, and we have all kinds of people who work there. As long as you're doing your work, hey, bring it on.
Yeah.
That's what I say. But
Yeah.
we actually, at work one time, we did potluck. And
Mhm.
all of the people who were not originally from Canada brought in food from their country. So we had a
Oh.
Jamaican, we had Sri Lankan, we had Indian, we had Pakistani, Bangladesh. We had a lot of different cultures. We had a guy from England. So everyone that wasn't originally from Canada brought in a dish from their home country, and we all partake of it. And it's awesome. And then after that, our next potluck was one that all of the people from Newfoundland brought in food from our culture.
Oh, wow.
So so we had, at that time, then we had like salt fish and pea soup and a lot of different Newfoundland things that are pretty much very common here to eat, but not common everywhere else.
Yeah.
So I brought in some dessert, and I made them myself, and it was molasses buns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I made them myself with my mother's help, of course. I did make molasses buns, and I don't even like them, but I brought them in.
No.
They were a big hit. Someone said, "Are you going to take the leftover molasses buns? There's like 4 there." I'm like, "No, you take them. I don't even like them." So
Yeah.
and they're
Our
learning
schools-
things.
Our schools often do what they call multicultural day, and usually they ask everyone to bring in a plate from from their country. And I remember the teacher said to me, "Now, Libby, don't forget, you've got to bring in a plate from with an Australian food." Oh, okay. So the next day, teacher just looked at me. She goes, "You didn't have to bring that many dishes in." I said, "Yeah, but the thing is, I couldn't make up my mind which I wanted to make." So I'd taken in a pavlova, Anzac Vicky's, Leamington's, fairy bread.
And you've got Rose there who's going to argue that pavlova is actually New Zealand and not Australian.
No,
I was actually gonna argue the fact that Lamingtons weren't Australian.
I even took in Vegemite sandwiches, and one of the boys he brought in pies and sausage rolls, and the teacher looked at him. She goes, "I don't know if they're exactly Australian." He goes, "Miss, meat pie with sauce. Come on, can't get more any Aussie than that.
With what?
Meat pie with sauce."
Meat pie with sauce. We had actually the British person at my work brought in what they call mince pies, and it was a meat pie with gravy. So it was a native British thing. So yeah, but I enjoy different food and stuff too. So
I remember like taking in the fairy bread, and everyone just looked and they go, or the other nationalities are looking, they go, "What's fairy bread?" "Oh, well, it's a slice of bread with a bit of margarine or butter, and it's got sprinkles or hundreds and thousands all over it. And that's
I think I'd
fairy
like
bread."
that. Don't think I'd like that.
Oh, well, there's a lot of people are going, "Oh, I don't know about that." Just give it a try. You know that fairy bread is the first thing to go. If you take that any party, adults are the worst. for fairy bread. The kids are lucky if they get any fairy bread because the adults are too busy. That's when their childhood comes back out in them. Oh, fairy bread.
Oh, no.
But the fun part was watching everyone try the Vegemite sandwiches.
I like Vegemite.
Oh, it's not for everyone though.
So,
No, it's not for everyone.
actually, I can honestly say that pavlova was originated from New Zealand because the guy that made it in Australia admitted that the dish was actually based on our marine recipe that was of New Zealand origin. So,
Actually,
So,
to
Rose,
be technical, it started in Germany.
actually, no, it started in Italy.
no, I was going to say probably Italy with a meringue like that. German
Yeah.
would have been more
I
of a
knew it was one of
meat-based
the others.
diet.
Because it was actually named after the video
Pavlov, yeah, but okay, so the first known written recipe for pavlova is actually from New Zealand.
There you go.
So,
it's all
Rose-
different. Depends on where you research the pavlova.
well, I just researched it in Australia, so this is off an Australian site that admits that it's a New Zealand-based dessert that they stole. So, yeah.
You know what? The way I look at it is I really don't care. It's yummy.
Australia and New Zealand are so close. We have very similar foods. The fairy bread, was started here. We adopted it in there. One of the things we do better than Australia and New Zealand, and I will quite happily prove it because I've got a pot on cooking now, is steak and cheese pies.
Oh.
We do them better.
Yeah.
The only place I have found that is even remotely close to New Zealand steak and cheese pies is Daniel Donuts, which is actually owned by a Kiwi.
So, Rose, tell us now, since you're here, and the other two, Libby and Shelley, they were talking about their heritage last week, and I think they brought us on to talk about our heritage this week, if I'm not mistaken, Libby.
Yes.
Okay, so Rose, tell us about your heritage.
I'm a mongrel. Okay,
You're a blended,
so-
are you?
I'm well and okay. So I know my father's side, my biological father. We go all the way back to Scottish Picts, which is what I focused on for this event. Was my Scottish ancestry, and it's quite strong. Like my 9th removed great grandfather was Enoch Prophet, and he went from Aberdeenshire to England.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So that's as far back as I've got. So that we can genetically get, but there is a genetic connection in the prophet line that goes to the Scottish Picts. So we were and the funny thing is, like all the prophet kids of my generation, we're all tattooed, which is really bizarre because heavily tattooed. And the Picts, if you know anything about the Picts, they were classed as the blue people or the tattooed people, because from a distance they look blue. But I've been looking at my grandfather and grandmother's side on my mum's side. And so my grandmother comes from Australia. So there's a branch of her family tree that come from a suburb, actually, ironically, in Melbourne called Norley, which was her maiden name. And but on my grandfather's side, we are Welsh, and so very much English orientated. My father, there's a bit of Māori, like I've got a very tiny amount of Māori in me, and I'm related to Vincent van Gogh. He was my 23rd removed uncle, great uncle. Yeah.
You got a touch of Dutch in there too, right?
Yeah, a little bit of Dutch in there, apparently. Yeah.
Touch of Dutch.
There's a little bit of Italian along the way. If I follow the direct lineup. So when I was researching Dad's side, I just followed the direct link. So like I went from my dad to my grandfather to my great, and I worked my way back that way.
Right.
So I wanted that direct linkage. And I actually even had a DNA test to prove that I was of Prophet descent, because I had to be tested for BRCA1 and BRCA2. So we did that. And but yeah, it was I really want to do the whole DNA, the genetic DNA test where you find out what you've actually got,
Yeah.
because
The 23andMe thing, is it?
yeah, there's never 100%. You can never 100% guarantee that one of your parents weren't naughty or your grandparents weren't naughty. Or, so I'd like to see. Like,
Well,
I
I
know
know-
I'm definitely Scottish.
I know there's one person in the group that on the One Race page, she actually did the had the
DNA
thing
testing.
done.
Oh.
Yeah, because she was looking, if I remember correctly, she was looking for her dad, and she'd done that testing, and she found out things that she like percentages of her ancestry that she didn't even know about.
Oh wow.
My father looked very Greek. I can show you a photo. I've only got one photo of him. He was very, very Greek looking, which was kind of a shock. So I'm wondering, we're pretty sure there's a bit of Greek in there somewhere. I'll see if I can find the photo.
While
But,
you're looking
yeah.
for your...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go
No,
go.
don't go.
I was going to say, while you were looking for your photo, I was going to mention, like, my dad's family are like German descent and a bit of Viking in there, and I grew up hearing about my grandfather.
Oh.
He died in 1945, but I grew up hearing about him and hearing stories of him and things like that. I never ever saw a picture of the man until last year in 2023.
That's right. Yeah.
We could never find the picture. My dad always said there was one picture that existed, but we could never find it. My dad passed away 6 years ago, and we found the picture like last year, earlier in the year. So after both my parents were gone, we found a picture of my grandfather. So that kind of made me
Wow.
feel like I wanted my dad here so that I could actually celebrate with him too.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what my grandfather looks like now. I've imagined in my mind what he looked like, and I was hoping that my dad kind of looked like him, and he did. He did kind of look a little bit like him. So, but he looked like his mom too. So it's like, yeah. But when you say you have one picture of your father, yeah, knowing that like all my life I didn't know what my grandfather looked like. It was really weird growing up, and everyone knew their grandparents or they had pictures of them, but I didn't even have a picture of my grandfather.
My dad had black hair and green eyes, and my mum is blonde and blue. And I turned out my natural hair color is blonde, and I have blue and green eyes. So my eyes, while they look blue, if you come in closer, there's actually a very dominant green ring.
Yeah.
In
Wow.
and Kenzie's got the same thing. But this is my biological dad.
Oh, he's handsome.
Yeah. Yeah. So my son inherited the ears.
Well,
I got his
that
nose.
that is my great grandfather. That was taken in 1938 in Sydney.
Oh wow.
That man was 6'6" and matriculated university at the age of 12.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yep, he was a very intelligent man. This was the day my mum's father come home from the war. So, yeah, we don't
So
have many photos, but we have a few.
I have some digital ones on my Facebook, like of one's of Jad in his Navy uniform, but he's like really far away. You can't see his face. That's the only clear image I have of his
Mhm.
face. And I have pictures of my grandfather and my grandmother. But I never actually met my biological grandfather because he passed away before I was born. Because there was a lot of controversy because my dad accidentally drowned when I was 2. So there was a lot of controversy around his death and stuff. There was talk of murder, there was talk of suicide, there was talk of it was horrible. And it wasn't until I was 18 and I had to prove that I was his daughter so that I could open up the investigation file that happened, because he was found a week after he died.
Oh.
So yeah. So he was found a week after he died. He was working on he was homeless. This was the horrible thing that I discovered, was my dad, because dad and mum had separated, and dad was homeless. So I'm not crying, I've just got a GI. That was very heartbreaking for me, was to discover that my dad was homeless. I didn't even know where he was buried. And so I started investigating, and I started kind of asking mum for information, and she was very reluctant to give it. And in the end, I kind of put my foot down a few years back now and said, I need to know where my father is buried. My children have the right to go and visit their grandfather. And I found him in an unmarked grave in Mangere Lawn Cemetery, which just broke me. So for 40 odd years, my father had been in an unmarked grave. No one had ever visited him. It was like he was discarded. And finding that out on the wave of finding out that he'd been homeless it broke me. And so I got a cross made, and I got it engraved with his name and his birth date and his date of death, and it just has beloved father, and it has an anchor on it because he was ex-Navy. But the funny little fact that we have is that Rory and him have the same birthday. They are both ex-Navy. They're both Scottish descent, and he said they're both about the same height.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea. So
You went for somebody like your dad.
yeah. So without even realizing it, I had daddy issues.
My dad's father, like my dad's parents split when my dad was probably a teenager or something. I didn't get to meet him because he passed away. I think it was a year or two before I was born. And I remember Dad saying that while they were at Pop's funeral, a man walked in, and there was a lot of whispers about this man that had walked in at the back. And they all turned around, and my dad just looked, and he said to my nan, "That's Grandpa." She goes, "Don't be silly, your grandfather passed away years ago." He goes, "No, look, that's Dad's dad." Turned out he wasn't dead. They all thought he was, but he was still alive. And he showed up at his son's funeral. And
Wow.
he said hello to everyone and everything. That's right. It was a year before I was born, because he'd met my mum and told my mum that he thought she was beautiful and a wonderful woman for his grandson. And that was the last anyone saw of him again. Anyway, my dad said none of us know when he died or where he was when he passed away. Well, I was doing some research on the military history on Dad's family. And all of a sudden, I find my great-grandfather's information. And so I thought, okay, I've really got to look into this, and I looked further into it just to double check facts and everything. Yep, same wife, same children, same date of birth, everything. And I straight away I rang my dad and I said, I found out when your grandfather passed. And he goes, how did you find out about that? I said, well, this is the date he passed away. And he said, you sure it's him? I said, well, same date of birth, same wife, same parents, same children, same grandchildren. I said, your name's actually listed as one of his grandchildren. I said, so you tell me. He went, oh. I said, did you know your grandfather has a military background? And he went, huh? You sure? I went, yep, because here it is.
Oh, wow.
See, my dad knew nothing about his grandfather because no one spoke about him because he was an alcoholic. So no one spoke about him because of it. And I said to my dad, I said, from what I've read about his military history and that, I think that might explain why he was a drinker. I said, I think you'll find he drank to forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's amazing what you can find out when you look back on your family tree.
Right.
And so I still got to look back on my dad's mother's side because we're not sure her I think it was her grandfather or something was a part of the Indian Legion. And I thought, what? And apparently a lot of people, English and that, went and joined there. So we don't know if he was actually English or if he was anything else. So I've actually got to look back on the family tree to find out exactly what's in Dad's background, because as far as Dad's concerned, it's English.
Mm-hmm.
As I said to him myself, I can tell you now there's more than just English, because the family tree dates back to 1200 and something. Because my cousin went way back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said I went back as far as I could go. He said I can't find any other information prior to that.
It's interesting when you go back into families, though. It's pretty crazy. Some of the stuff you can find.
I know I've got an Italian uncle. He was born during World War II. But that's all I know. I don't know his name or anything. I just know he's Italian. And yeah, my mum's father was his daddy. My nan knew all about that one. Pop apologised. He told her straight away. But as she said to him, you know, there's she was away for a long time, and her comment was, men have needs.
Okay.
And she said, I prefer to know about it than you to do it behind my back. And I thought, what a brave woman. I don't know if I could have did that. But like they met, my grandmum's parents met when my grandmother was 17. They dated for a long time. They got married when she was 21, and they both passed away married.
Mm-mm.
I've never seen a man dote on a wife as much as I saw my grandfather dote on my grandmother. He worshipped the ground she walked on. And I always said to my parents, I want a marriage like that. And if I can't have a marriage like that, I don't want a marriage.
Mm.
Could explain why I'm not married.
Oh well, there could be another reason.
Phew, I
My
just
cousin
couldn't be
said the same thing to her mother. My cousin said the same thing to her mother. She wanted to marry. She said, "You ruined it for me." She said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, you and Dad had a perfect marriage." She said, "I couldn't have anything, couldn't have as good as you." So she said, "I'm not going to bother." There you go. So, and my parents had a very good marriage too. My dad adored my mother, and vice versa. It was a bit too much sometimes, I think. Ruined it too. We're almost on time there, Libby.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost on time here now. I think Shelley, you need to be somewhere or something. So
Hubby's going to be going to bed here soon, and he likes to have a little bit of my attention so we can catch up.
he wants some attention, does he?
No, not like that. I'm too tired. But I have enjoyed the event. I've been doing my diamond painting. I had sat there for a while and gotten bummed out on it, but I had a lot of fun with it. And thank you, Libby, for allowing me to be part of your event and allowing us to come up here and talk and get your ear off.
Hopefully next year I can do a lot better.
Oh.
And
Hey,
possibly
it's the first
get
year. It's the first year. It's a jumping off point. So, I got my canvas about half done, so I'm going to bring this canvas into another event for next month. So I can actually bring this existing canvas over to that next event. So that's not too bad. I'll be able to just continue on with it. So, yeah. So, but thank you, Libby, for inviting me this evening. I want to say
You're
thank you
welcome.
for that, and
it was good
Just-
hearing about your background.
yes, happy to
Yes.
share.
And thank
Are you
you,
all right,
Rose.
Rose?
Hey,
Are you good?
yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Rose, for coming on.
I didn't say much. Sorry.
I just need some meat pies now with some gravy on it. You know, y'all made me.
No, ours was tomato sauce.
Oh, no,
Where's our invite, Rose, for dinner?
Well, the beef and the bacon are in cooking it. I literally bought a big
I
bowl
can't
of
do
roast.
this thing.
It's in cooking in the crock pot with the bacon, and then I'll pull that out, and with the juices that have come from that, I'll make gravy and chunk it all up and put it in, and then
Yeah.
we'll have that as a cottage pie, some mashed potato on top, and then
So,
we'll have it as a
so
pie.
Libby- So Shelley's coming for that. I'll bring my own food, but I'll come and watch you eat.
I need pictures. That's all. Just send me a picture.
Yes, yeah. I will take you. I'll take a photo. I won't take a photo of the raw meat cooking because that's just boring as hell. So
Yeah, I want it once
I'm
it's on the plate.
having,
What's your
I'm
favorite?
having barbecued pork,
Ooh.
pork fillets with vegetable patties, all homemade.
I'm
Well,
going to
tomorrow
make
night,
two soup tomorrow.
well, yeah, okay. You guys know how much I love my food pictures, so make sure you send those.
We'll inundate you with food porn tomorrow.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I wasn't sure if I could say the P word.
You can say food porn. So I keep
Tomorrow
clothes
is
on.
roast night. So yeah, tomorrow night we have roast chicken. We're having a roast chicken tomorrow
Oh,
night. So
yeah, I need pictures.
As long as you
Yeah.
keep clothes on. You can say the word as long as you're not performing, you know?
I'm back on my strict diet, so I gotta live through your guys' meals.
I
Well,
I will be back soon on my diet. So yeah, I've got to.
I'm
lose all
going
that
to
weight.
I'm going to be in a few days. I'm going to be making chocolate coated chocolate chip biscuits with sprinkles.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, definitely send a picture of that, please.
Right. Are we on?
Bye-bye.
But yes, keep uploading your pictures to the page.
Yep.
And yep, if
I'll do
you
that.
can still talk on the page. If you want to tell anyone about where you are from, please feel free. It's interesting to hear about other places.
Absolutely.
And thank you everyone who did participate. And hope to see you all, one, for the Who's Who event, and two, for next year's one race.
Hooty hooty hoo.
So till next time, be kind, be good, and have fun.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.